that lane. I believe that you also ban what maybe interesting. I want to see ban Kadira because
I mean, we see SRG fought the Julian mid with a Phoveus. Maybe they have some kind of fighter situation in mid that they want to bring up as well.
yeah, Fury is the first one to actually rock
The mid Phoveus.
the mid Phoveus. So yep, that's a pretty strong hero to pick up. But I guess the other hero is maybe the Minotaur ban. They banned Tigreal instead. So I think this confirms Julian to be the jungle, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because you don't
Makes
wanna,
sense.
Yep. You kind of want to secure that the jungle farming pattern for the Julian.
I was thinking they were gonna double down and invest in another jungler that's physical.
Yeah.
Hence why they banned out the Tigreal.
Yeah. And then SRG goes what, Ruby this time. I think it just makes a lot of sense picking up the.
What about a CC?
Yeah, I still feel the CC is a great pick.
It's gonna show up.
It's gonna show up for sure. Maybe last pick, or maybe this pick actually. Yeah, no matter what, that's going to be CC. They're just gonna make sure that it's clear. But Ruby is a very safe pick here, the fourth pick, because it's not countered by anything at all. It has great synergy. You can put it in the XP lane if you're forced to do it. I see the world where it is actually picked up as the XP lane.
Yeah, I compromised the link too. Like you show it a second, the weakness.
Thumbs.
It's not gonna happen.
Okay.
Unlikely unless there's still room. There's still room for a Ruby.
Casters, what do you guys think about this Tamus pick against the lineup that Falcons and Bren have been showing?
I think that, honestly, it's coming to a point where what exactly are they trying to do? And I think it's going to be playing for these early first turtles to try and get to that mid-game like Mirko was mentioning just now. And from FCAP's side, I mean, they've got to have some strong answers to this because the Barats already should be able to clear faster than the Thamas.
It's all about capitalizing on the mid game, yeah. It's all about capitalizing on the team fights because what the Thamas allows SRG to do is it allows kind of the whole team to buffer the engage, whereas the Moskov will have to really be careful as to how he actually goes into these team fights, and if he does go in a bit too early, the Vengeance will maul him.
Yeah. There's a Minotaur, very good pick because it counters the Cloud, and there's it's just about this a big nuke mage like the Lilia, because the Thames was already shown. You know that it kind of walks, so it has to actually walk and traverse line. So Lilia makes a valid pickup here.
I love the adjustment. FCAP just says, you want to fight slow? Let's fight slow. Let's make the fight last forever.
Yeah.
If there's any player who knows how to make a Tams work, that's Flapteasy. He won a season championship off of that hero, playing very aggressively. So now it looks like they're going to try to tempo out SRG.
Yeah. Rock looks decent for SRG, but I would say maybe an Edith. Maybe they'll just go back to the Edith. Oh, okay, the anti-Ling strat, of course.
He's going to be on Kyle TZ for minute 0.
And this is Angela Hilda.
Okay.
That's scary. That's actually really scary.
It's a good draft, but I would still say it's a bit of a risk. But again, going up against world champions, you got to take risks, man.
I love it.
Mirko, Gideon, I hope you guys are ready because it's your turn.
Holy cow, this draft, quickly threw a curveball here. I thought, hey man, this is gonna be tough because FCAP's comp, they're gonna eventually outscale, but it looks like from the side of SRG, they've decided upon, you know what? They've been winning out on the early game. It's time for us to show them what an early game looks like.
Oh, this is gonna be really interesting to see for SRG because technically, they have a lot of great early game pressure, but even in the later stage, they have that Claw to carry them.
Hopefully it's gonna be enough. We're coming into the land of dawn, boys and girls. It's game number 3. They've managed to jump as high as the Falcons, eye to eye. But can the Falcons soar even higher here in this match? Welcome to the land of dawn with Falcons. AP Bren on the blue side, SRG on the red.
You can already see as the game gets started, the Hilda make a very aggressive maneuver in towards the enemy purple buff here. As the Angela definitely have to go and deal with the waves. And this is why the Lilia is going to be so good for Falcons AP Bren. They get so much more prio and they can rotate over to Yums. And right now, it's already kind of struggling to actually get in the vicinity of that purple buff. Stormy has cleared it out. Kaltizi on it. He'll be forced to maybe use the retribution at this point because Yums, he is there trying to screen it out. Kaltizi bringing it into the bush. Retribution is going to be used. Yes, it does. Yums, successful invade.
Yep, really nicely done, but this means that he might just be going down here to Kyle, right? He is using Warcry.
Okay. Flicker's out. Yom's now doing some damage back. Now with the help of Few, this should be first blood over to Kyle Teasy.
Look at the tempo, though, on the bottom side. After the EXP has been pushed out, they're getting Julian involved to start stealing away 1 or 2 camps here. So at least for Sagai's, despite Kyle Teasy getting 1 kill, he is a level ahead.
The gold for XP trade. I don't know how that's going to actually help SRG later on, but seriously, if Skies is able to steal a Lord with 2 levels down, I can only imagine if he's the one ahead that he'll not miss a single retry.
Well, we'll see whether Kyle actually still has his retry, considering how much pressure is being applied to him right now by Yums, right? We're expecting Yums to get even more aggressive after the 2-minute mark, because then he's not going to get punished as heavily once he's invading those jungles. But take a look at this, right? They're setting up a potential counterattack here down on the bottom side, but SRG sense it.
Again, for Kyle, it's really tough for him to actually maneuver around, because if he gets poked down, it's very tough for a Ling up against this kind of composition already. The Julian is actually a great pick against the Ling, so now that if he ever gets chunked before he enters, he's going to be punished even more, and SRG know it. That's why they're not in any rush to go for a neutral objective.
And especially since guys, especially with the chains, right? In combination with Yums trying to disrupt Kyle Teasy to maybe get a delayed hold on. He's taking a bit of damage here. He's still got Black Shoes, so he technically should be fine, but now Cram involved.
Again, jumping into the midst of it all, has the helmet. Hard guard pops into Vengeance, jumps to the back line again, dealing damage on Kyle Teasy, forcing him back. Cram standing there menacingly, zoning them away. But Kyle will try to make his way back. That's a flicker forward. Denton is welcome to the pin down now into the knockout. Knock up into the Minute Fury as well. What a combo from Falcons AP Bren. Stormy able to flicker out to safety. Cram will do so as well. What a recovery.
Really nicely done. Very nicely done. The weird part is that we did see Cram spot out the Ling on the mid wall when it all occurred, right? For all intents and purposes, Molten Size, he could definitely throw it at him, try to push him off that, try and honestly push him off of that wall, maybe even get Yums to help out with that as well, but instead they start peeling backwards and they completely forget that Flap has the flicker.
Flap Teasy on the Barats. He makes it feel like a Ling. He makes it feel like it's a mechanical hero. Detona's welcome flicker combo connecting every single time, even in game number 1, finding the prio targets. He was able to find the target he needed, and it was Skies. Straight into the pin, and now we get a look at the items. Does look like for at least Innocent, he's actually quite a bit ahead. 300 gold as he goes in for the push. Turn of the night, the waves from Super Marco, immobility. Super Marco able to get out now, trying to go for the pin down out the Sky Spear of Destruction as well. Now onto the back, bringing him back over for Kyle Teasy to assassinate him. Well played, but the sword gets him out. Skies not for long. Stormy caught as well. They find a trade, but it's definitely not worth it. Not just yet. 2 members down. Yums dealing some damage. Not able to go for the full assassination on the Few. It's actually him forced to flicker out. Baptiste, the Dino, walking back as well. The knock up, and then everything in the kitchen sink to deal with Yums.
Ooh, okay. I'm surprised. Honestly, I'm surprised the fact that Sakai stayed alive that long to chunk out Super Marco like that. At the end of the day, it's still a very well worth trade for Falcons AP Bren. Now Super Marco's got 4 assists in the bag. Ogwin, unfortunately, has 2 kills, but hey, you take what you can get at this point of time, right? As long as you're able to accelerate Kyle Teasy, he's going to drive the momentum for Falcons AP Bren. SRG need to have much cleaner fights right now. Let's look at the items one more time, and the lead still in favor of Innocent.
Again, though, in the purple buff, Yums, Power of Wilderness already used up the Retribution. Baited out of the Kyle. But now with the Defiant Blade, he should be able to deal with Yums. He tried to get into that bush, but it will only give Kyle the unstoppable he needs. 5-0. Flask of the Oasis Power Spike for the Minotaur.
Yeah, but despite all that, 5-0-2, a wonderful KDA to have. And yet, guys, despite being 0-2-1, the same level as Kyle Teasy, they're doing something right here, right? They are trading gold for a little bit of extra time and EXP. And that is going to keep SRG in the game because, as we mentioned before, it's about that mid-game, right? That big mid-game spike.
Krem, poked down a bit. Good position on that choke point. Krem unable to really go in. The missiles not able to connect right now, but Krem will be brought back forward. Pops in the ultimate, has the heart guard to play with. Stormy is hovering over him. Taking a lot of damage though, Kyle now. able to recover, able to clear some waves, able to clear some of the creeps, one level ahead of Skies. He's back again.
And finally, for the very first time, we see SRG say, no, we're not going to contest. We're finally just going to retreat. And Stormy's going to top off his boy Cram here because it could be a setup angle for a dive. And I think that's a very good call considering everything that has happened here. But in the mid lane, at least the guys finding opportunities. Wait, that just is... They're not going to dive that for sure. But let's look at the gold difference, right? Because while everything is happening, it looks like Innocent has been doing a phenomenal job, now extending his 500 gold lead to an 800 gold lead.
He can go band for band. He can go M for M with Super Marco.
I was not going to follow up you on that reference. I knew you were going to pull it out as well. Let's look at the items because now you can see that the 800 golds make only the slightest difference, right? It's Golden Staff already built on top of that DHS. But let's cut back to the supports because the Flask of Oasis is going to be a lot better than just Steel Paints.
Gotta be careful though. Look at this. The Dynaman up top. Oh, one with the knock up getting chunked down. It's a bit of damage. I think it was from the turret, Yums, and then a few basic attacks from Innocent too. Now walking up forward. BMI defensively again. Both teams really just looking for an angle to find an advantage.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Kyle TZ has built. I just saw the GDS actually getting purchased, and I don't know if he's fast-forwarding the GDS instead of getting the Haasclaw, or maybe he already has the Haasclaw in time on top of the Berserker's Fury, right? That's the atypical build that we like to see. Wait, he's not gonna...
Force him to blade. Skies has the enhanced sword, goes for the chase down. Has the hard guard to help him too. Kyle TZ gets out. And SRG want to capitalize. Cram straight into the bottom lane. Wants to cut this wave to find that prio.
And it just goes to show that KDA isn't everything to all of our rank demons out there, man. Like, look at that. He's a full level down, and you compare it 5-0-2 to 0-2-1. In what world does that win?
In this world. 7 minutes in, Game 3 of the Grand Finals of MSC 2024. But Super Marco will be able to utilize that advantage up top, the 3-man advantage, to take a Tier 1. Now straight into the bottom lane, utilizing the movement speed, but SRG are on it. Sky, Stormy, and Cram. Look at maneuvers coming in from Falcons AP Bren, trying to recover the space. Need to be chunked by Yums. Forced to flick around, actually. Super Marco with the Abyss Walker. Also with the Spirit of Misery. Trying to really go for the poke onto Innocent as Kyle TZ holds on, and no purple buff on him. Flat TZ, in the midst of it all, caught in the poke. So much poke praise on him, still able to flicker next to this Welcome, finding Skies again, and this time it's going to be Skies, dealing some damage back again. Ogre with a mock-up, Kyle TZ with a blaze, still able to survive. Cram with a vengeance, Yums in the back, it's Skies getting soloed. Ogwin will fall as well to Innocent. A trade for now. Falcons AP Bren, they secure all 3 neutral objectives.
I mean, at this point, I bet even the audience is tired of like, how does only 2 people die? Despite everything that has happened, these battle spells, these flickers especially are proving extremely valuable. I would have imagined at the very minimum that maybe few probably needed to purify or something, but even Flat TZ, wow, that was just, man, how does he get away with this?
I can't believe he's done it. Well, at this point, I don't even know how many times he's done it, but the fact that he keeps getting Skies, and in Game 1 he kept getting Innocent. Barat's the death to his welcome. Usually we see the death to his welcome miss, especially when it's combo with the flicker. This guy still gets it every single time.
Man's got aimbots somehow. It's inbuilt to his fingers somehow. I don't know. There's no explanation for it.
There is an explanation.
Good. What is the explanation?
Toby Maguire got bit by a spider. Flap TZ got bit by a goat.
This guy is just, he's too good. But at the same time, right, SRG continue to try and keep it even with Falcons AP Bren. Yes, it is a 3K differential between the 2 teams, but we've seen time and time again that SRG have made miracles happen, and Falcons AP Bren are now taking a much slower approach to SRG than they have before. They're not just throwing people at the wall and hoping that it sticks.
Here, though, you can see Yom's trying to screen out Skies, able to clear out the mini wave in the bottom lane, and again, for Selangor Red Giants, they have a really good way to actually minimize their losses, right? Every single time they're actually behind, when they don't have tempo around the map, they're still able to catch every single wave, while also denying any pickoff from happening, which is very, very impressive up against a team like Falcons AP Bren. Usually a 1,000 gold lead means that it will give them a billion more opportunities to look for pickoffs around the map.
Yeah, but it's starting to look more even. Even we're talking about like priority, right? Like Cram half the time is able to kind of match up unless we do see Flap TZ sacrifice a bit of his wave just to get there on time. That's the cost. That's the big brass tacks that both of these teams are applying onto each other. Every single one of these moves need to have purpose, and it always comes with a cost. That being said, though, this Lord Dance is going to be extremely important for the two. The worst part about it is that Falcons AP Bren probably can do it slightly better thanks to the help of Ogren on this Minotaur.
Slowly but surely, again, for Falcons AP Bren, this is the new version of the Lord Dance. With the changes, it's all about the Lord. Can we call it a step? It's a tap dance, kind of back and forth a little bit, you know? It's a tango.
Cha-cha. Yeah, it's a tango. It's much more of a tango than it used to be, than just sitting and doing the waltz, right? But at the end of the day, Minotaur is really, really good at...
Ooh, almost catching him with the enhanced chain, but Kyle still able to utilize the Finch poise. He is low, though. He'll get the motivation roar. He'll get that sustain.
I think this is a pretty good opportunity for SRG to start taking the space back here. However, Few not making it easy, right? Drawing the borders in the river, making sure Gloom is going to set the tone for this upcoming fight.
Oh, what a nature. Perfect timing here for Falcons AP Bren. Now it'll come down to Skies to really deal with Super Marco. Yums in the front, trying to deal some damage on the Flap Teasy. Will be able to do so as Cram walks up forward as well. Jumps into the midst of it all, still able to pop the ultimate. Now Innocent, deals some damage, jumps in the midst of it all again. Jumping forward, Super Marco. With an nature, but Skies goes in for the assassination, still able to find his Spear of Misery. That's welcome to the pin down. But now the winner Cram from Skies. He tries to stay alive, but Kyle Teasy is an absolute monster.
With 5-3 so far, Kyle, he's not going to die here, but look, 12-2, and SRG finally making a big mistake here. As we look at the replay, this looked like a great engage, and I think it was a good idea that even Yum's flickering forward to try and disrupt the backline, especially since Super Marco honestly was in a pretty dangerous position. Now they're in their base. Can they close it?
Stormy trying his best to actually evade from him. The Cannon Minion not in range just yet. Cram, he did what he needed to. He stopped the minion from getting into the range. But still, it's another 2 members down.
At this point, like you mentioned before, Wind of Nature came at a very convenient time for Super Marco. Without that, he probably would have died to Sakai's or wouldn't have enough health to actually survive from him. Luckily, he still played it as best as he... Oh, God.
Yum's pinned down, flicker forward, and has sword from Sky, Spear of Destruction! Super Marco with a chase forward to find a double!
A statement piece by Falcons AP Bren with a double kill from Super Marco. But they gotta breathe for a moment. These chain deaths from SRG is supercharging Falcons AP Bren as they're pushing the momentum to the crystal.
The base wide open, Super Marco will deal with him, but he'll go for Cram just first. So Marco taking a hold of that with the vengeance! And the turret shot takes him down. Cram against the world, now it's Stormy against the world. He'll still be able to survive. Few chasing him down, it's a mistake! Falcons AP Bren, they still have a Lord to play with.
Innocent in 4, Sakai's already back alive. Falcons AP Bren, did they mistime this, unfortunately?
They did.
They recover. Let's breathe for a moment here because we know that this whopping score might just mean nothing in just a little bit. So far, gold differential, a full 7K ahead. When we look at the items, the Winter Crowns have already been purchased since earlier, but now even more people have it with more invulnerability frames to work with. At this point, the question really is, SRG, how are you going to make this miracle happen again? Can somebody deal with this Daytona's welcome from Flat TZ? And more importantly, Few. Now that he has the Ice Queen's wand, it's very dangerous to walk up.
I think it's all about Skies with the enhanced scythe. If he really wants to deal with Death in his welcome, it's all about him evading and then trying to melt Flap TZ down. Look at Yums going in onto Few with the Power Wilderness. Cram as well forcing the Black Shoe. Skies right there, goes in for some damage with Lazy Dude. Few still able to escape, but Yums chases him down. Skies win a crown in the midst of it all. As Owen gets isolated, Skies will too. Flap TZ, Detona's welcome, now into the mist, pinning him down straight for Super Marco again! The Spear of Destruction, whiffing this time, Stormy able to survive. The same 2 members, Cram and Stormy. Can they do it again? This time, dodging away from the missiles, able to go for the clear onto the waves, no lore to play with. Have they survived again?
I think it's fine for SRG. It's going to be hard to close it out at this point in time with 3 members still alive, right? But they trade 2 for 2, and I think at the end of the day, it should be good enough. Oh, no.
Hard guard, and the ultimate now turning things around, forcing him to win a crown from Flap TZ. He's going to be melted down, but so is Cram. Super Marco with the help of Kyle TZ picks up a double. The mini-wave still there. They're going to go for it, and they will secure game number 3.
Oh my goodness, this game is coming down to the inches here. The chain deaths coming in from SRG side, supercharging and doubling the momentum generated by Falcons AP Bren. Put them in such a bad spot. Miracles only happen when you work for them and you make some good decisions. That one was not on top of the list.
Well played. Falcons AP Bren, they really adjusted to the mistakes they made in game number 2. They weren't composed enough, they weren't controlled enough. And in game number 3, they decided it's all the way from the start to the finish.
Consistent step-by-step process. Falcons AP Bren really showing why they're some of the best players and the defending world champions. I think that SRG, unfortunately for them, this is going to put them in their place a little bit more. Falcons still in the air.